Hello friends, welcome to our channel. In this video, I am going to tell you a short story. Have you heard the story of the PDF Island? Yes, you heard it right. The PDF Island. So, I am going to narrate you the story in this video. Before you indulge into the short story, I want you to have a glimpse of what to expect from this fantasy genre story. She had been on that island for 5 years now. Actually, she was forced to stay there by people, by nature, and she seems to have accepted it. She, in fact, has started to love this a life all alone, free from toxins. According to her, all humankind in this world are toxic. With no valid reason to hold on to life, what will Sarah do if she discovers something on the island which could revolutionize the whole world? Will she be ready to desert the world that deserted her to this island? Or will she fall prey to the only weakness she had that returns to her life unexpectedly? To know what is all this about, read further, or in fact, listen further. Remember to go on with the flow of the story as I narrate and avoid putting your brain a lot into this to enjoy the story to the fullest. If you want to read the version of the story, then please find the link to read the story in the description. If you are an audio lover, yes, continue listening to the story. Let me begin the story. The giant ship stood in the middle of the ocean, and there were two men on the boat. Who are you? Why are you having me tied up here in the ocean? A man in his late 30s shouted, trying to free himself from the ropes tied with the ship. Young man, let me explain everything in detail so that your life ends after you get to know the reason why you are going to be dead. The man at the other end said with a blank expression on his face. He continued, I am the sailor executor of the state, meaning when a person commits an act against the state or opposes the state which is of national importance, he will be killed and dropped in the middle of the ocean to be fed to the whales and crocodiles here. So, you must have done something similar, and here I am to end your life. There was terror in the eyes of the listener now. Let me go, or just hear out my part of the story. This is unfair. I am sorry, buddy. Once in the seas, I decide what is fair and unfair, and I play by my rules. Don't worry, I will offer you a trump card to escape from here. I just need your word that you are going to turn into the state and drop all your protests against the state. I need a yes or no from you, nothing more. The executor sounded in more of what sounded like a recorded tone. I am not going to turn in. Even as he spoke, there was a huge blow on his head and he collapsed. The sailor checked for his breath. He is lucky. Seems that he has commenced this eternal journey with a single blow itself. The sailor murmured to himself as he removed the ropes around him and dropped him into the ocean without a second thought. Then the sailor sat in silence for a few minutes, trying to seek forgiveness from himself. After some time, he stood up and steered the ship, trying to change the direction of the sail to return. That was when he saw that. No, it was her. The sailor closed and opened his eyes, thinking he was imagining things. No, it was real. She was real. The girl he had executed 5 years back, she was there in the island ahead of him. How is it possible? Wait, there is something else. There are lights glowing everywhere in the island. There is a tent. There is fire. She is living there. There is more to it. She has a source of energy with her. There must be something in the island. The executor was too bewildered to think, and therefore he thought it would be better to inform his senior officers about it. He steered his ship as fast as he could in the opposite direction of the island, back to the state. At the state, the Secretary of State barged into the meeting room roaring. What is this nonsense? Do you think I have time for these silly affairs? First of all, change that sailor executor. He must have imagined things and we are discussing it here. No, sir. Our team, including me, went to that island and spoke with that girl. There is something important worthy of our discussion, sir. A senior official spoke up. There was calmness in the expression of the secretary as he sat down and said, "Go ahead." The senior official recollected meeting that girl as he told the secretary in detail. The ship was moving straight towards the island as directed by the sailor executor. When they neared the island, they heard her voice. "Stop there. One more nautical mile and your ship will hit the land underneath and break into pieces." The captain stopped the ship right in time and confirmed what Sarah told was indeed true. The executor wondered how her voice had toughened over these years. She herself was rough and tough, and she looked rugged but mature. It was hard for him to imagine that she was the same girl who begged with him to let her go 5 years ago. This island is submerged under the water by more than 90%, and what you see is only the remaining 10%, Shara shouted from the other end as she looked around in pride. "How the hell are you alive? It has been 5 years now," the senior official quipped. "That doesn't matter now, does it? Take it as if God wanted me to survive. It is as simple as that," she said calmly. "We are here to help you, to rescue you," the senior officer tried to sound appealing in vain. "There is no need for you to look for a convincing lie," Sarah said as she turned back and looked at the trees behind her and the fruits it bore, the poisonous diamond fruits, the PDF as she had named her. "I know as much as you do that you are interested in these fruits and want to know about it, and you do not care what happens to me," she said in a firm tone. The senior officer waved his hands to his associates to get ready to jump as he said, "Wait, Sarah. Let me explain you everything clearly once we are there on the island. Do not try anything foolish. Look around the island. It is surrounded by crocodiles, poisonous crocodiles. Are you ready to sacrifice your lives for this island?" "Are they your pets, lady?" the senior asked sarcastically. "Thanks to my career at a zoo shortly before I was deserted here, I know to tame crocodiles. So that means, indeed, they are my pets, the only family I have left. A command from me and you're dead," she spoke in a commanding tone. The senior realized that she was telling the truth and kept quiet for some time, after which he finally spoke. "Okay, Sarah, listen to me. You need not suffer here. We are here to rescue you. Help us do it. How are you alive amidst these poisonous crocodiles, as you call them? And tell us all you know about the trees around you. How did you create energy and fire in this island all alone? Is it a new form of energy?" Sarah was visibly angry and she gathered up energy as she shouted back, "You human crap! I clearly do not want to be rescued from here. And remember, I am not going to let any human enter this island or leave it as long as I am alive. But I will answer all your other questions about the fruit." She went up to a tree and plucked two different color fruits of the same variety and started to explain. "Listen to me carefully. This is the poisonous diamond fruits, PDF, as I have named it. It grows in this island in abundance. This fruit is a miracle in itself." She now peeled off the skin and the flesh of the fruit and explained, "This flesh is a highly contagious poison, like cyanide. The place it falls becomes poisonous and incapable. The person who touches it dies in a few minutes. I ate this out of hunger a few days after I reached here." "But you are alive now?" the senior interrupted. "Let me explain," Shara thundered as she continued. "The complement for this poison are the crocodiles around here. I got unconscious minutes after I ate this fruit, and when I woke up, I had crocodile bites in my body. The crocodiles could have killed me, but they did not do so. And later I realized that they will not do so because I had eaten this fruit. Now I am immune to this poison. But only I know the exact quantity of the fruit I consumed and the way to get immune from this poison. Now coming to the source of energy," she said, and removed the peeling completely from the fruits and took out the seeds. The seeds were not like ordinary seeds of a fruit. They shone like diamonds. The two seeds she held were of different colors. These are the seeds of the fruit, but actually, these are something like diamonds. And when these two opposite color seeds, that is the opposite sources of energy, come together, I can create energy. Sarah said as she brought together the two seeds, and there was a spark. The people in the ship could not believe what they saw. Here was an island full of a new form of energy that could change the way the entire world functions, a form of energy from trees. The senior finally spoke. Okay, I am warning you. Please do not do anything stupid. You have found something incredible. Wait there until we get arranged to get to the island through air. Our forces will land on the island through helicopters. Let me also warn you not to do anything stupid. I have laid these peels all over, so practically the land is poisonous now. Your men will die in a few minutes after they land here. Remember that. Now the senior lost his patience and screamed, Hey lady, wait until we finish you off and then decide what to do with the island. Sarah calmly replied, Unfortunately, me and not you are in the position to decide. I forgot to mention that these fruits are also highly inflammable and can cause massive destruction. So, if I am going to be killed, I will choose to die only after setting the entire island in flames. Also, I remind you that as of now, only I know the way to become immune from this dangerous poison. Okay, calm down. This is not something personal. It is much bigger than that. I know and understand that you are hurt and you hate the entire humankind for deserting you like this. But this energy in the island should be used to benefit billions of people out there. Why do you oppose that? The senior asked, trying to sound appealing. The human crap are not worthy of this kind of miracle. You will all use it only for destruction, mass destruction. This miracle will turn out to be a curse. I think I have been placed here by God to be the guardian angel of this miracle, and I am not going to let anyone near me until I am alive, she said decisively. Wait, think about what you are speaking. Is it fair? I am done talking with you. Have a good day, officer, Sarah said, and lied down calmly on the ground and started to stare into the sky. After no reply from her for hours, the senior and his men returned to the state. The senior official was now back to the present, and the secretary was listening intently to whatever the official was telling. Is this even possible? A new form of energy. It can change the image of our country in front of the entire world. We will be practically ruling the world. But a silly girl is the hurdle now? Sir, maybe she's a silly girl, but she's clear, rough, and ready for anything. We cannot risk doing anything against her, the senior official said softly. The discussions were on and on for about 2 hours with no possible solution in sight. Finally, the secretary got fed up and called a junior officer inside and said, Find out all you can about this Sarah. She must have some personal weakness in her life, something that would help us break her down emotionally and reach her. The junior officer was back in an hour and said, she had no family. All she had was her boyfriend Arlo and her Lillo. Good. Leave that Lillo out of the picture. The primary reason for all this geo paradise. Try contacting that boy Arlo immediately. He can reach her easily. That is the only solution left, the secretary said and walked out. Now back to the island. The early morning breeze blew across Sarah's face as she woke up from her sleep. She switched off the lamp near her and came out of the tent. Thanks to the ships that often hit this island and topple over, she had her regular supplies of food, clothing, and shelter. She sat down under a tree and her mind drifted back to the night she was brought to the ocean to be executed. She sometimes felt that it was God's wish that she had to survive. The executor gave a huge blow on her head and she lost consciousness. But she was not dead. He must have dropped her onto the ocean and left. All she could remember was lying on this island all alone. Being alone was fine for her, but being stranded in an island all alone was something beyond words. She used to scream, shout for help, cry, and tried all she could. Only these waves, trees, and soil know my tears, she thought. Then realization hit her as she discovered about the fruit. Maybe she was meant to be alive for this. to be the guardian angel of these PDFs, the poisonous diamond fruits. After a couple of years, she started to love this life and she started to hate humans a lot. That she even named the humans as human crap. This was a life of peace and serenity with nothing to run behind, nothing to live for, nothing to hope for, just leading life by going along its tide. Sarah then replayed the reason for her execution in her mind as she cried, thinking of Lillo. She found it hard to digest that he was not alive today. She would get angry when someone addressed him as dog. Okay, he was a dog. The New Guinea singing dog. The rarest in the world. Only a few hundreds left in the world. That was the reason the state officials told when they took custody of Lillo. We want to test some breeding tests with Lillo so that these varieties do not go extinct. It will be over in 10 days and Lillo will be safe, they said, and she believed. But in 2 days, Lillo was no more and Sarah was completely broke. She learned that Lillo was killed due to careless administration of medicines. How could she be quiet? She started to fight for justice for her beloved Lillo. Then the officials came out with a shocking allegation that Lillo was infected with the virus and that her owner, she too, had contracted that virus, and it was a wise decision to isolate her in the sea so that the virus doesn't spread. That was not the worst part. The worst part was that the number of doors that shut against her face as she begged them to help and stand for her. She then realized that she had no hope in life to cling on to. When she was in that mindset, she was kidnapped and was brought to the ocean to be executed. Finally, she had landed here on this mysterious island. Please look at me for once, Sarah. Sarah came back to the reality as she heard this voice and turned to find the ship again. But this time, there was a new man with them. He was handsome, tall, fairly built, must be in his late 20s. Sarah judged the man as she got up, took her bow and a fruit, aiming at them. Wait, do not shoot me. I am not a part of this crew. I am not here for diamond fruit or the island. I am here for you, Sarah. I am Arlo, the man said and held his hands up in surrender. Sarah hesitated for a moment as she said with more of a murmur, You cannot be Arlo. He is dead. He met with an accident. He cannot come back. She took aim again. I know you will not be able to recognize my face or features, but just look into my eyes. Let them convey you the years of my lost life. I am Arlo, your Arlo. After she kept staring at him for what seemed like hours, she finally dropped her sling bow. Why are you so different? She asked. Because my face was completely scarred after the accident and I went into coma. I had to undergo plastic surgery. I lost my identity. I recovered only days ago and I realized that more than 7 years have gone by and I only have you left in this entire world. So I came here for you. Are you here for me? Is it really you, Arlo? She gathered up her voice, hiding her tear. I am here for you. And what have you made of yourself? This is not the Sarah I loved. I have not made anything. Nature has made what I am today. The only reason I am alive is that I don't want to take back the life God gave me. No, you have the purpose of your life in front of you and not in the island behind you. Sarah looked at the vast island behind her, confused for a second. She then turned her and said, I am no less than a poisonous serpent now. We cannot be together. Go back. This island is my world now. I cannot leave this place, she said, tears rolling down her eyes. No. I heard everything these sailors and officials had to tell. You are immune to this poison. I will also consume the poison and come to you. We will make the island our home. I want to spend my remaining new days of this new life with you, dear. Will you accept me, the queen of the PDF island? He asked as he extended his hand. As he extended his hand, his mind went back to the state office where he agreed to win her over. Yes, win Sarah over by acting as her dead boyfriend Arlo. But now, the look in her eyes made him shiver. He had not experienced much of a personal life at all these years. Yes, he was married, married to science, dedicated himself to science. He had never thought beyond what his brain ordered him to, and it was always about inventions and mind blowing discoveries. To make it short, he had never let his heart perform any other function other than the primary function of pumping blood. Then he thought of what would happen if he succeeded in knowing all about this diamond fruit. He would rule the world of science for the years to come. Literally, he could make miracles. His lifetime ambition of a massive discovery would be fulfilled. All these positive thoughts flooded his mind as he extended his hand furthermore in an encouraging manner. Sarah hesitated for a moment, and there was some realization in her eyes. Then she gave a commanding noise in a weird manner, and the crocodiles made a bridge by coming together. Walk by stepping on them carefully. Do not worry, they will not move or harm you. The man treaded carefully and moved closer to the island and held out his hands. And Sarah stared at him for a moment and then gave her hand and pulled him to the land. The man expected that she would hug him and express her love, and he should be ready to manage that. But she wasted no time and grabbed 2 diamond fruits from the nearby tree and gave the flesh of the fruit to him to eat. She gave exactly a whole of the first variety and a quarter of the second variety, and the man was quick to notice it. The man thought how the island life had changed this woman into an inhuman human with no emotions except for those tears that peeped out from her eyes some time before. She had her heart filled full of anger only. He then offered silent prayers in his mind as he ate the fruit. It was the tastiest fruit he had ever eaten all these years. The man then said, "Okay, next step is to get bitten by the crocodile." As he moved towards the crocodile to get himself bitten, when Sarah sobbed him. She held him closer to her as she whispered in his ears, "I lied about the crocodile bite as the solution to become immune to the fruit. It is actually something else and not the crocodile. I lied because I did not want those people to kill these crocodiles easily and reach the island," she said with a smile on her face, which reminded that she had smiled so for the first time in these 5 years. The man was shocked for a second, but cleverly hid it and said, "Oh, so how will I get immune from the poison?" Sarah bent down and picked down a handful of sand and gave it to him and said, "Here, you need to have this sand. Just put it into your mouth and swallow it." The man's expression changed and he began to think that the crocodile bite would have been better. He had no option and he was beginning to feel uneasy already. So he grabbed the sand from her hands and swallowed it. As Sarah turned to move, the man immediately withdrew the penknife from his pocket and slit her throat from behind as he was instructed. Sarah turned to face him with tears in her eyes. But wait, she was also smiling. She said, "There is another step left to become immune to the poison." I was about to tell that, but I guess you are going to choose death instead. The man was stunned. No, I am sorry, Sarah. It was by mistake. Tell me the next step, please, he begged. Yes, it is a mistake on the part of God to have created this human race. Betrayal and enmity oozes from every pore in the body. And how different will you be, mister? I am your... The man stopped, unable to continue due to giddiness as he fell down. Sarah sat beside him as he struggled to speak with blood all over her throat. I knew you were not Arlo. The moment you extended your right hand seeking help. My Arlo was a lefty. But I wanted to give someone one last chance to like me, to love me, to be worthy of this miracle. But now you have made the decision to be the very reason for the destruction of this miracle island. Of course, along with me. I will not let any mankind reach this miracle. So we are going to set ourselves ablaze and this island is going to become prey to the Agni Lord. The man had lost consciousness by now. Sarah dragged him to the other part of the island and set him ablaze without any trace of mercy. The same way as Sir Harlow, the environmentalist who voiced against the state, was killed. The same way as her Lillo was killed. The same way millions will be killed if these fruits were used as a weapon of destruction. She then sat down on the island and shouted, "We humans, yes, finally accept. We humans are cursed with the idea and habit of seeking miracles around us without realizing that we ourselves are miracles in our own way." Those were her last words as she set herself ablaze. The crew in the ship watched helplessly as all their dreams went up in flames right before their eyes. So, here ends the story of the PDF Island. Yes, this story was written by me, and I just wanted to share the audio version with you guys. Hope you all liked this story, and please share the review about this story in the comment section. And for more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you, friends. Bye.